Hello students, today is the third session of our skill development program. Today's topic is thin layer chromatography. So let us start. Today we will discuss these points. First, principle of thin layer chromatography, then preparation of a TLC plate, then application of a sample, and after that development of TLC in solvent, identification of components, and last is calculation of RF value. Let us see our first point. Principle of a thin layer chromatography. Thin layer chromatography is the new technique widely used for separation and identification of all types of organic compounds from the given mixture. In principle, it consists of applying the given mixture on a stationary phase, that is silica gel, and allowed it to move with the help of flowing liquid or gas, that is mobile phase. The different components in the mixture start migrating at different rates since the interaction of the components with the mobile phase and stationary phase is not the same. TLC is basically adsorption chromatography, in which stationary phase consists of thin layer of silica gel or alumina coated on a glass plate, which act as a support for the adsorbent. The sample is applied at the baseline of the glass plate coated with the adsorbent, means silica gel, and then it is dipped in a chamber containing solvent system which act as a mobile phase. The solvent rise on the plate surface due to capillary action. The different components in the sample are adsorbed at different extent on the adsorbent. When the solvent start rising, the different components move upward at the different rate, and this lead to separation of components. So next point is preparation of a TLC plate. We have seen principle of TLC. Now first step for performing TLC is preparation of a TLC plate. Okay, so what is the first step in this is first prepare a slurry of adsorbent, that is silica gel or alumina is prepared in some volatile solvent like chloroform or NHexane. Take a thin, clean and dry glass plate of 1 mm thickness, 8 to 10 cm long and 3 cm broad, and insert it in a slurry and immediately taken out and held horizontally for few seconds. The volatile solvent evaporated and the adsorbent remained behind on the glass surface in the form of thin layer. Remove the silica gel from one side of the plate as well as from the side of the plate. The coating remaining on the surface must be uniform. Okay, in this way we will prepare TLC plate. There are some precautions which we have to be taken care while preparing TLC plate. What are that? So first is the slurry should not be very thin or very thick. Before the plate is immersed, slurry should be stirred thoroughly. The glass plate should be held vertically when immersed in and taken out of the slurry, but once it is taken out should be held horizontally immediately. If coating is not uniform, clean the glass plate, dry it and follow the above procedure strictly. Okay, after that we will see our next point, that is application of the sample. Okay, the sample is dissolved in some highly volatile solvents such as chloroform, ethyl acetate or acetone. The sample which we have to place or apply on a TLC plate is, first of all we have to dissolve in a highly volatile solvent. After that use a very fine quantity of the sample as well as solvent, but for that we will use a very small quantity of a sample as well as our solvent. After that draw a fine capillary by heating in melting point capillary in a flame. Dip the fine end of the capillary in the solution, then place a very small drop of the solution on a TLC plate. The application should be done at the distance of 1 cm from the bottom of TLC plate. Let the solvent evaporated and second spot can be done at the same point. When solvent evaporates, only mixture or sample to be separated is left behind on the adsorbent. It means when we give spotting on our TLC plate, it must be done at the distance 1 centimeter above from the bottom of the TLC plate, and when we apply one spot we have to wait for few seconds until solvents get evaporated. After that, second spot will be put on the TLC, and we have to wait again until solvents get evaporate. And when solvents gets evaporate, there in on our adsorbent only our mixture which we have to be separated is present. Okay. So next point is development of the TLC plate. The TLC plate, after application of a sample, put very carefully in solvent chamber which contain mobile phase. The solvent which is to be mobile phase is kept in a chamber with lid closed for at least half an hour so that chamber is saturated with the solvent vapor. The plate is kept inside the chamber in such a way that sample should not be below the solvent level. The plate is kept in totally vertical or tilted position. Then close the lid of the chamber and keep it aside for development without any disturbance. The solvent slowly rise on the plate and the component of the mixture also move along with the solvent but at different rate depending upon their polarity. Stop the development when the solvent front has moved distance 6 to 8 cm from the baseline, that is the line of application of the sample. When the plate is taken out of the chamber, wait until the solvent on the plate is evaporated. Now next is identification of the sample. After development of a TLC, wait until if solvents get evaporated and then place the our TLC plate in a iodine chamber, or follow other methods which we have mentioned here, like if sample contain all colored compounds, their spots will be visible by their colored number of colors for indicate number of component in the mixture. If the sample is colorless, then it can be visible by some other methods. First, exposing the plate to UV rays when the spots become visible. Keeping the glass plate in iodine chamber where iodine mix complex with the component to form a colored compound and the spot become visible. And the last, which is the plate can be sprayed with some reagents like potassium permanganate, which will develop color and spot become visible. Okay, from these methods, any one method we can use for identification or compound, or for to get visible our sample spot. Okay, then after identification of a component, the next step is calculation of RF value. When spots become visible, note down their RF value. RF value is always less than 1 because solvent height is always more than solute height. RF value is the calculation of a component and are depend on conditions used for separation like solvent polarity, temperature, quality of a silica gel and sample purity. As long as the conditions are same, RF value for the given compound does not changes. Okay, so here is formula for RF value calculation. Formula is distance traveled by the solute spot from the baseline divided by distance traveled by the solvent from the baseline. Okay, from this formula we get RF value for each component. Okay, in this way we will perform our TLC. First we prepare our TLC plate, then we will apply our sample, and after that we will put our TLC in a solvent chamber for development. After that development, or after development, we will uh, remove our TLC plate from the solvent chamber, then evaporate solvent, and after that we will put it on a iodine chamber or use other methods for identification of the sample. After identification of a sample, we will calculate RF value by using the formula given here, and in this way we get separated components. Okay, so that's all about today's skill development program which is on a thin layer chromatography. Thank you so much.